How do you sell cryptocurrency, all tax deferred, invest into commercial real estate?
Great question. And it's using something called a deferred sales trust. And not to be confused, by the way, with the Delaware Statutory Trust, which are both DSTs, same acronym, just a coincidence. And for those who are familiar with Delaware Statutory Trust, those are just a form of a 1031 exchange. I like to call those the Hollywood video to the blockbuster 1031, and they have their place and they have some usefulness. Certainly, we just closed a partial Delaware statutory trust last week for a client who had what's called a mortgage over basis challenge for an apartment complex he was selling in Colorado. Then he's able to put the rest of the funds into the deferred sales trust, and just realizing that certain things work for certain asset types. So, for example, the 1031 exchange only works for investment real estate. It doesn't work for high-end primary homes. So we did an $8.3 million sale in Palo Alto for a client who wanted to sell, felt trapped, wanted to move to Nevada, and had a big tax that above and beyond his 121 exclusion. So we used that. But it also works, Deferred Sales Trust also works for cryptocurrency. And so we had a client, she worked for Google, and she bought Bitcoin for about $50,000, and she got a big gain, Steve. In fact, it was up to 50 million at one point, and it's really high, and she's riding a lot of the waves, and she's looking at a big tax. And so instead of selling and paying about 30% or so, or 37% or so in tax, she's looking at exiting using what's called the Deferred Sales Trust. And so we set up a trust, and it's kind of like an IRA, it's kind of like a 401k, it's kind of like a 1031 exchange. And instead of taking all of the capital at closing, she was able to exchange it for a promissory note and sell the asset, the Bitcoin, or transfer the Bitcoin to the trust, and the trust ultimately sold it to the market. Smoke clears, and she's in what's called an installment state, or she's a lender. And by doing in these certain orders with a third party unrelated trustee, that's our rule, she's able to achieve tax deferral.